Hi, how's it going? I'm back from Korea, which is wonderful and sad because I don't see my family anymore. But it's wonderful because I'm finally back in Los Angeles where I can actually do some work. Hi, hello, how are you? I'm good. I know it's a little late, and I'm sorry about that. And I won't be too terribly long. And I just want to give over a summary of what I've got going on in terms of the channel and what I've been doing while I was in Korea and talking about the different adventures that I went on with my family and stuff with that. So, hi, hello, hi everybody. I was gonna do a legitimate like stream on my computer, and I'm in my recording room, but I was like, man, I just don't feel like that. It's just not the right vibe, you know. You gotta have the right vibe when you're making some kind of a live stream, and I just feel like this kind of discussion is best on a couch where you're just chilled out and relaxed, and you're not doing anything particularly incredible. How's it going? It's going good. I thought I was getting sick. In fact, I was getting sick, and now I'm suddenly better. I don't know how. It could be the fact that when you're in Korea, you're eating a lot more vegetables and like healthier like things. You know, you're getting some actual nutrition instead of just eating cheesecake every night for the past few weeks. Which before I left for Korea was actually my diet. I would order pretty much a cheesecake every single night. Amy and I would sit down. We would watch Great British Bake Off, and then it would always make us hungry for kind of like pastries or desserts. So we would end up ordering some. We would end up ordering cheesecake for delivery every night, and that is not a healthy way to live. So when I go over to Korea and suddenly I'm able to eat vegetables, kimchi, get some good rice, like all these other varieties of food, because in Korea the culture is very much centered around food. It was always meant to be like a shared experience food, and so they're very serious about making sure that you are full, and I've got tons of stories about that because my family loved to make sure that I had food in me at all times of the entire existence that I was in Korea. I was full, which in Korean is called peblo. And you would just see me like every single night that I was with my family. The end of it would end with me going, Pablo, please, no more food, Pablo. Pablo, I don't want to eat anymore. And they would just go, Pegopa, which means, you hungry? Hungry. I'm like, no, Pablo, anio, no food. And they're just like, food, you eat. Come on, you're starving. And I'm like, I'm not starving. There's actually a funny story when I was it was like the second day that I was there, probably second day, um, and I just woken up, and I woke up before everyone else because my clock hadn't adjusted and I hadn't gone there long enough to be able to get up at the right time. So I was up at like 5 a.m. And I sat in the room for a little bit and I was like, okay, well, no one's awake and I don't just want to jump out there and, ruin it, wake up everyone up. And, because it's a nice sized house, but it's not a huge house. So if one person is walking out, other people are going to hear it. So I walk out there as quietly as I can. I go downstairs. It's about 6 now. I killed some time on my phone and I walk downstairs, creeping as gently as I can. And a lot of Koreans, especially with that number of family in the house, they were sleeping on the floor. So they were sleeping on the floor on the upstairs. They were sleeping on the floor downstairs, and then everyone else had their rooms that they could have had. Oh well, thank you, demanded love. Thank you. I'm happy to be back. Thank you so much for that. But no need, no need. Stop that. Stop that. Yeah. So I'm creeping down as much as I can creep. I'm creeping as quietly as hushed as I can, and I get down to the bottom, and I'm like, I'm a little hungry, but I don't want to tell anybody that I'm hungry because then that's going to get the throngs of people out. So I quietly sneak into the kitchen. I grab a bowl, and I'm about to get some rice. But the problem with this rice cooker is that it has a lock unlock mechanism. It's made by some company called Cuckoo, which is kind of ironic because this was the clarion call that woke up everybody in the house. So it's named Cuckoo. Its symbol is a little rooster, and when you unlock it, it goes doo-doo-deet, like a very loud beeping doo-doo-deet. So I like boo-doo-deet. Ah, shit! But I didn't hear anybody, so I thought I was in the clear. So I pop it open, ka-chunk. Shit. Grab the rice paddle. I scoop some out for myself, and I'm like, okay, I made it. Little clacking of the chopsticks, and I go out into the living room. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I just sit down. I grab some some fried from fried seaweed, and I was like, I can eat this in peace, and no one's gonna bother me. But then a door squeaks suddenly, and my aunt, who it's so funny because they never refer to each other as their names. It's always different, different like nicknames for someone. That's like they're called aunt in Korean is emo. So emo, IMO would be like the most direct translation. Not necessarily emo like emo, but emo. So I forget what nickname this emo was, but it was I believe it was the eldest of my mom's sister, so the oldest of my aunts, and she just rounds the corner, just sticks her head like the door squeak. The door squeaks open, and I just see her head pop out from like the crack there, and she's just like, "Pegopa?" And I've got my bowl of rice, and she's just like, "Pegopa?" And I'm like, yeah, but I'm good. I got my rice. I'm good." Pegopa, if you didn't remember, means hungry. And she's just like, "Pegopa." And that was the siren call that woke up my entire family. Because I have 6 aunts. At the time, only 4 of them were in the house, and my mother were there. But then upstairs, you hear squeak. Another door opens, some steps. There's a railing above there, and just I see a head peering over the railing, just like, "Pegopa?" And my other aunt just looks down at me like, "Pegopa?" And I'm like, no, I'm good. And she's like, oh, yeah, sit down, sit down, sit down. She comes down the stairs. Then my other aunt comes out of the other room like, "Oh, Pegopa. Oh, okay." And then my mom comes out of the bathroom because apparently she was in there the whole night. And I don't even know why, but my mom goes like, "Oh, Pegopa. Oh, Mark, you hungry? You should have told me." And I was like, "I'm not hungry. I have rice." And then instantly, everyone just started piling food in the living room table. Like just it was a small table. It's kind of customary to sit on the floor when you eat in Korea. So I was just sitting on the floor, and it was this low coffee table style thing, and just food, kimchi, bean sprouts, fish, squid, like soups. Suddenly there was soups for breakfast out of everywhere, and it was just tons and tons of stuff, and just food. And I'm just like, it was 6 in the morning, and then suddenly it's 7 in the morning, and I'm just, "Pebble, oh God, I'm so full. Please, I don't want to eat anymore. I can't possibly eat anymore." And then just like constantly, that was every day, every single day I was in Korea. It was just a series of "Pegopa, Pebble, Pegopa, Pebble." I can't eat anymore. And then when we weren't cooking in the house, we were going out to eat at all these different restaurants that we would go to. And restaurants like in Korea, very reasonable, except for one, but that's another story that I'll get to later. But it was a great time. And this was the first time in a long time that I was actually able to talk with my family. Like I'd been learning Korean for about a year. Not that it did me that much good when I was over there, but it did me a considerable amount of good because number one, I can read it now, and number two, I understand the grammar, so I know what they're trying to get at when they're saying something. My vocab is just way low compared to actual conversational. But once I start learning the words, and I'm learning words as I go along, I will get to the point where I can be conversational, and that will that will like literally be game changing because I was able to communicate. Number one, the person I communicated with the most was my cousin Hyungbae, who you guys saw in the. Did you guys see the Korean candy video? My cousin Hyungbae is the tall one, so he's the tallest of the bunch. He's just this really funny guy. Also, he's trying to be an actor over in Korea, and he's been in a few cool roles. So if anyone's watching this from Korea and you need an actor for your show, call up Hyungbae. He's got great headshots. He's very yepuda. And he told me that was not the right word, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure that man very yepuda. Yeah, Hyungbae is like, I've known Hyungbae forever, and I've never talked to Hyungbae before. I've known him since I was 6 years old, maybe even younger than that. Maybe I went over there when I was like 4. I can't remember exactly when. Those pictures that I showed during the candy video, those were so long ago that I have no memory of the actual event. So maybe it was even before that. Like it was hello, do not disturb while driving. Do you think I'm driving, phone? I'm not. Okay, I'm back now. Yeah. That was so long ago that I don't remember it. And Hyungbae has been a part of my life that entire time. And the most mind blowing thing is I've never spoken to him. Never once actually spoken to him in a way that we could understand each other. I visited, and every time that I visited, I've hung out with him. I really have. But I've never spoken to him. And so to have a situation where you have a family member who's been involved in your life for so long, and he's the kind of guy that knows like what I'm doing. He knows what I'm doing. He knows incredibly what I'm doing. Oh, thank you so much to Evan8623. You guys, if you can, whenever someone does something like that, give a super chat or becomes a member of the channel, you can actually type in chat at their name. Just type the at symbol and then put in like there was a recent super chat from Terrific. TORR, just at and their name. It shows up in the highlights for them, so it makes it really special for them too. So if you guys can help out anytime something like that happens, just hit the at symbol, start typing their name, and just give them a warm welcome, like and a big thank you for that, because I really do appreciate that. You don't need to give me any super chat. Everybody who's a member of the channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So if you guys see that, and I don't see it, definitely give them the recognition that they deserve. So, but with my cousin Hyungbae, and this is kind of something that I almost regret for a long, like a big part of my life, is the fact that this person, this hilarious person, and I've got so many stories. I've got a list. I've got a list of notes that I have just to talk about all of the different things that we did in Korea that I have to tell stories for, and I've barely gotten through the first one. The first story I had written down was literally just emos asking Pegopa, and I've got car repair shop, jam session at Hyungbae's father's garage, massage at bathhouse where I was straddled by a man. It was a really good massage and a scrub down too. That's another story where we carried grandma to her wheelchair. We went to we went to the old Palace Grounds Museum. Korean man in small restaurant said I looked French. That's literally a notation I have here. Haggled in Seoul for clothes. I ate a chicken foot, which was just not good in any capacity. The packed market, the not so one-way road that Hyungbae took us down. We almost died. Herb Island, which is a wonderful place. And grocery store, man yelling about fish and meat. I talked about in the Korean candy video. I've got so many stories here that I want to get through, and I've only managed to get through one, so I'm never going to be able to get through all of them until I get through this. But just what I was saying is Hyungbae is an absolutely hilarious guy, and I knew just enough Korean to talk to him, and he knew just enough English to talk to me that we could bridge the gap and we could talk to each other in this weird broken way, but where we could fully understand each other, and where he could make me laugh unbelievably and I could make him laugh. And it was just like this thing that I've been missing out on my entire life, this whole side of my family that I haven't been able to connect with, this whole side of me that I've been denying my whole life. Because I've talked about this before. Oh, thank you so much, Wolfie the Gamer, but there's honestly no need for that. No need for that. That's really like, I thank you, but no, please don't give it to someone that actually deserves it. But this whole side of me when I was growing up, the Korean side, the Asian side, the side that would get made fun of when I was a kid, and it's not because all these kids that I grew up with were horribly racist. It's just like they're kids. If there's anything about you that's different, kids point it out. Kids try to isolate the people that are different. And so me trying to survive as a kid and just rationalizing, I started to kind of not embrace the Korean side of me. I started to push myself actively away from like Korean culture, stuff like that. I didn't have an interest in learning. The great pineapple, $10 in case you're hungry. I'm good. That was Hyungbae's favorite slogan. Just, oh no, I'm good. I'm good. No worry. It okay. And I taught him the awesome phrase, "Don't worry about it," which he used every time he used it. It made me laugh because it was so funny. And he every time, because I told him it was a very fancy way of saying like, oh, it's okay. It's like, and I told him like, if you say "don't worry about it," all sexy like, it's very charming. It's a very polite way of saying, don't. It's okay. But so every time he'd say it, he'd go like deeper and deeper. Don't worry about it. It's just like, oh, don't worry about it. I do anything. I like open the door for him. He's like, oh, thank you, thank you. Don't worry about it. But when I was a kid, like this guy, every time I would go back to Korea, I would never try, you know. I would never try to communicate. I would never try because as the shitty kid that I was, being taken halfway across the world, which is something that people don't just get to do. And they definitely don't just get to be welcomed in the way where all of my family was always so happy to see me. Every single one of my family members was always, before I did YouTube, when I was just a baby, when I was just a kid, when I was a shitty teenager, they were always happy to see me, welcoming, warm. And they invited me into their home, this barely recognizable member of their family. They were so happy to see me, and they invited me in. And I, being the shitty kid that I didn't think anything of it. And so this has been the first time that I was able to really appreciate it. Like really truly honestly appreciate it, and it made me realize like a lot of things. And I'm not saying I got some grand enlightenment out of it, but one of the things that I like really thought about when I was there was just the fact that I waste a lot of time like worrying about things that don't matter, trying to find an easy way through doing something, and trying to think about all the ways that it could go wrong when in reality, one of the greatest things that like you could do is just jumping in like feet first, both feet, jumping in, diving into something that you want to do. Kind of like this idea of kind of sucking it up. And I'm not saying sucking it up emotionally, but sucking it up when there's something that you want. And what I wanted was like when I first started to learn Korean, I was like, I wanted to learn Korean so I could talk to my family, but I didn't realize that was leading me down this road of a deeper connection with who I am. Like, really, honestly, truly, this connection with who I am as a person. And so when it came down to this possibility where I could go and see my family and stuff like this, oh my God, oh, what is that? Ashley's beautiful craziness. Love you, Marky Moo. I'm more than happy to give you this much. You've saved my life and you made me laugh when no one else could. Thank you so much for being my best friend. This is the least I can do to pay you back for what you've done for me. Much love. Oh, thank you so much for that. But there's no need. Thank you. I'm good though. Thank you. Oh, that's too nice. Everybody, please thank everybody that's been giving stuff because I know I miss stuff and I feel terrible about that. But it really is something that means the world to me. Like, I'll get back to what I was saying before, but one of the cool things, like I mentioned before, was that because of the membership system, I'm now able to release the tour special next Friday. Next Friday, that's coming out. I'm finishing up the last edits on it, and I'm gonna do the premiere system of it so we can all watch it at the same time live. It's long. It's long. It's like feature length long. It's clocking in about 70 minutes. But we'll be able to watch it all next Friday. Probably normal release time. Probably next Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. I may push it forward just a bit, just in case people are in school and they want to see it live. But then we all can watch it together, and I can chat with you guys, and you can chat with me. But that's going to be next Friday. Let's say it's going to be 1-ish. I don't know. I'll ask you guys what it's going to be like. But just, yeah, thank you everybody that's supported the channel through memberships and stuff like that, and everybody that's been giving. Like, it's ridiculous. Oh, God, someone else did. Alicia Raven, thank you so much. And, but what I was saying is, when I set out to do that and when I set out to do what I wanted to do, like, I didn't know how to do it. So I came up with a lot of like different schemes to try to do it better or easier, or try to find the right way to do it, or try to think about, the fastest way to learn Korean so that I wouldn't waste my time. And what it comes down to, and what I realized is like, there's in a lot of things in life, there's the adage of work smarter, not harder. But in the vast majority of life, you just got to put your nose to the grindstone. You got to do until it's done. Like, that is the biggest lesson that you can learn, because there isn't always a shortcut. And especially when it comes down to language learning, there is no shortcut. Oh, sure, you can get like this system versus that system. But at the end of the day, If you want to talk to people, you got to number one, know the words, number two, know the grammar, and number three, most important of all, just fucking talk to people. There's so many people in language learning circles that are like, I want to learn the language, but I'm scared to talk to people. That's how you learn the language. How do you think a baby does it? A baby does it because they're trying so unbelievably desperately to talk to people. Like, that is bar none. If you want to learn a language, you got to talk to people, because I learned more in the 2 weeks that I was in Korea than I ever did in all of the vast majority of year-long learning that I'd done. Because I was struggling to talk to people, and your brain trying to figure that shit out is what naturally makes you able to talk to people. If you want to learn, talk to people. That's the only thing you got to do. And that applies to a lot of things that extend farther beyond just just language learning. It extends to things outside of language learning. It extends to things that you want. Like, if you want YouTube, you know what you got to do? You gotta make videos. You gotta make videos, and you gotta try harder, and you gotta market yourself, and you gotta talk to people. You gotta make it work for you. You gotta do everything. If you want something in life, sometimes there's not an easy road. I've talked about this before in terms of just like, sometimes if you want something and the road is paved with broken glass, you gotta take off your shoes and you gotta cut up your feet and walk. And every step's gonna suck. It's gonna be agony. It's gonna be painful. And you're gonna hate every step of it. But at the end of the day, that's the only road to get where you wanna get. And maybe along the way, you'll find a little path that's not so covered in glass. And maybe occasionally you'll get to put on like one shoe on one foot and you'll hobble along. At the end of the day, like, if you want something, like, you really want something, you got to go for it. And that's kind of like what I'm seeing now. Like, if I want something, and me in the grand scheme that I am, like, always trying to find ways to improve myself, it's nice. Because there's also this part of me that always wants to rush things, always wants to have things now, and always wants to, have instant gratification. And I think a lot of people are like that. Am I constantly cutting off my head when I'm talking? I have no idea. I'm not even looking at the camera. But there's so many different like things that, I want. And some things just take time. You can't have everything in a day. You can't have everything like immediately. Some things you have to do in a way you're chipping away at it. Like, day by day, you're just chipping away one single day at a time, making progress that's so insignificant that it seems imperceptible. Making progress that seems like you're not actually doing anything, but in reality, you're taking a step that someone else isn't. You're taking a step that someone else wouldn't, and you're doing something that someone isn't. And those little itty-bitty imperceptible amounts of change add up to improving yourself, learning a language, making more videos, extending farther beyond, learning a new skill, like meeting new people. These small victories, tiny, insignificant seeming victories, are the only thing that get you where you want to go. And anyway, so what I was saying was, this trip was great for me because it helped me realize like a big part of who I am. It's not like I want to try to embrace that side of me. That is me. Like, the side of me that I see when I'm in Korea, and the side that I'm finally starting to appreciate, that is me. It's half of me. It's half of who I am. And I just want to know more. And it was never truer. Here's another story. It was never truer than when I was in the temple where my grandfather's headstone is. It's not really a headstone in the sense that there's a grave. In this temple, it's a really fascinating place. It's hard to describe in words, but it's basically a Buddhist temple that is a shrine for these small wooden plaques that are inscribed with the names of the family and just like brief information about, when they died and stuff like that. And when we went in that temple, I've been there before. That's the thing. I was there when my grandpa was buried or not buried, when he was cremated. I was there when he was cremated. I was there at the temple before. And being there then compared to being there now was night and day. And I have no idea why. Because I was walking the same steps that I walked before. I was in the same area that I was before. I was seeing the same things that I was before, but through completely different eyes this time. Because the impact of it when my grandpa died, and my grandpa again is someone that I didn't connect with. I connected with him more than my other members of my family because he actually spoke some English, a good bit of English. That's how he knew my dad, and that's how my dad met my mom, was through my grandpa. And when he passed, and I was back there, even then, I didn't really appreciate it. But I started to get some nuance about it. But this time around, it was completely different, you know, because we were there with my grandma, and my grandma is my last living grandparent, the only one I have left, and she, I don't know how many years she has left. To be perfectly honest, she's had 2 strokes now, and I'm pretty sure she's showing the early signs of Alzheimer's. And it was heartbreaking at the same time as really a weird sensation because every time that I would see her, every single day when I would wake up and I would go downstairs and I would see my grandma, she wouldn't know who I was. She would keep asking, like, "Who is this guy? Who is this guy?" And I would understand her to the extent that I knew she was asking who I was, and I would try to explain to her in Korean, like I'm your grandson, like I'm the same kid that you saw when I was just very young, because she only really remembers me from before she had her stroke. And so she remembers me as this tiny child. And so every morning she was shocked because she was like, "Who's this man? Who's this man?" And she would get shocked and she would see me and she'd be like, "Oh my God, you were this tiny kid. You were this tiny kid and now you're so big. Like you've grown up." And she would like get emotional every single morning. And like I said, it was both heartbreaking and heartwarming because like it it was what I wanted. I knew that me connecting with my grandma, it wasn't going to be perfect because, like, again, I don't know how much time she has left. I don't know how much time I had left to talk with her. And I was actually able to talk with her. And every single day, I was able to reintroduce myself to her, and I was able to reintroduce myself to her better than I did the day before because I was learning more as I was going, and I was looking up online like different words to say who I was, different ways to say who I was. I was asking my mom to say different, like, how do I introduce myself better to my grandma? And so my grandma was there when we went back to the temple to pay respects to my grandfather. And it was the first time that I actually participated in the ceremony behind it, the lighting of the incense, the bowing 3 times, the pouring of the tea, the whole thing that I've never really taken an appreciation of before. And it was good. It was nice. It was good to see like this kind of connecting of the culture for Korea because we brought food. Like we brought food to the temple. Number one, to donate to the temple, but also just like we brought some of my grandpa's favorite food, which oddly enough is this spicy cup ramen, this instant you pour hot water in ramen. And it's this ramen, this spicy ramen that I love like to this day. It's what I ate as a kid. It's what I ate, as like just this young kid, and I didn't know that. Like I didn't know that's how far it went. Like with me in my life, this ramen that I ate was my grandpa's favorite ramen, and we brought a case of it into the temple and laid it at his little headstone there, and we paid respect to that headstone all together, you know. And we remembered like who he was, and my family was able to tell me about him a little more, and I was able to learn like a little more about myself and a little more about my culture and a little more about like where I came from. Because I don't know, I've probably told this story before, but I don't know if I've told it in the same way. I'm not sure what the brand name is. I can't remember what it's called. It's a pretty popular ramen in Korea. It's a red cup. Is it called noguri? I can't remember. It's a red cup with some black lettering. It's pretty popular in Korea. Somebody in chat could probably point it out to me. But I don't know if I've ever really explained this story about how my family kind of came to be. Because it's a weird string of coincidences that led me to be even here. My grandfather had family up in North Korea. And I'm probably not going to be 100% accurate with this because obviously this has been told and translated to me before. But the general point of it is before the Korean War, my grandfather, along with his wife, my grandmother, and I believe maybe a brother and his brother's wife, they were in North Korea before North Korea was even North Korea, up near the Chinese border. And before war broke out, he knew either from someone in the American military or someone related to that, he knew that shit was about to go down. And he had to make a choice. He was told that this is going to be bad and he had to flee south. No matter what, things were going to go bad, war was about to break out, and he had to go south. And so my grandpa talked to as many family members as he could and said, I need to leave. And he's 19 at the time. I'm pretty sure this was when he was 19 years old, just married, like no kids yet, had to go, left behind everything because he talked to his family and his family didn't want to go. His parents didn't want to go. You know, the rest of his family didn't want to go. A lot of his friends didn't want to go. He and my grandma ran down south. They hitched rides, they took the train, they went south, and they got into Seoul with very little time before war actually broke out. And so they made it south just in time. And as far as I know, he never saw any of his family ever again. Because when war broke out and the line went down and then the truce was made, North Korea was shut off. This is in the 1950s or 1960s or whatever it is, the very beginning of it. And he never saw anyone that he knew growing up ever again. And so he started a new life down in South Korea. He started just all over again. He didn't have much money. You know, it's not like Korea was doing wonderfully after the war ended. So he had to make do with what he had. He and my grandma basically scraped and saved as much money as they could. They saved every single penny that they possibly could. You know, they started a family. They had my oldest aunt. They had a few aunts. They kept trying for a boy. They never got a boy, so I ended up with 7 aunts. They had 7 daughters. And then after the 7th one, they were just like, okay, I guess, you know, we're just not going to have a son. So we're just like, we're going to end it there. You know, 7 kids, that's enough. And so my 7 aunts, you know, they grew up. And then in my grandpa was working with the American Army. And so he, in working with the American Army, met my dad. My dad, through my grandpa, met my mom. And then a couple years later, or many years later, I was born. And I wasn't even planned. No. I was not a planned baby. I was not supposed to happen. My brother was born, and then my parents were like, that's enough. One's enough for now. And then I just happened to be here. And it's that crazy string of events that somehow led to me existing in the first place. You know, I wouldn't be here if my grandpa didn't decide that he needed to run. If he could have easily made the decision not to go, because, like, frankly, like, that's what a lot of his family was saying. Like, why should we go? Well, why? We have stuff here. We have money. We have land. We have stuff here. And he left. And without that decision, I wouldn't be here. You know, they tried for a son. You know, maybe if they'd had a son after the second child, because my mom was the middle child. She was the 4th kid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, she was the 4th kid. If they had a son after that third, the second, even the 4th one, if that was a son, I wouldn't be here. That would be it for me. Like I wouldn't be here. And then, you know, if my grandpa hadn't just so happened to have been working in the Army, met my dad was introduced to the rest of their family, met my mom, wouldn't be here. You know, It's yeah, it's just a weird story. So when we were in the temple, and we were paying respect to this, and we were seeing like the the effect that this had on my family and the big family, and I think I just posted the picture of me with my family at the temple. I believe I did. Did I? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I have no idea. Did I? Did I post that? I can't even remember what I've done. I think I posted it on Instagram. Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, I posted it over on Instagram. It's the picture of me with my grandma up in the temple, and that was really special. That was like the third or fourth day. That was after the whole Pekopah incident, but seeing that temple again, seeing how little had changed in that place in the over 10 years since I'd been there before. I think it'd been 15 years. 15 years since I was last there. And I remembered it. Like I remembered every part of it. Every step. I remembered the three like different shrines that they had there. I remember the stairs up. I remembered that statue. And there was some, obviously they cleaned it up and they kept it nice, but I remembered it. You know. But I definitely didn't remember having any sort of reverence for it. I definitely didn't remember having any sort of respect for it and stuff like that. So yeah, it was an incredibly important experience for me. And I can't describe in words how much I encourage you guys to connect with who you are. And your story is probably not going to be the same as my story. Your story is probably not going to be something where you can go see family who are so eager to teach you about who you are and your history, or maybe even you don't have family to go for. But that's not the main point from all of this. The main point and the main takeaway is that we're all very slowly and day by day learning who we are as people. I am very slowly, very steadily learning who I am as a person. YouTube has been my journey into learning who I am. My life has been a journey in learning who I am, learning what I can do, learning what I'm capable of, pushing past the moments where I think I'm only capable of so much and extending that and calling myself an idiot for even thinking that I had reached my limitations or had taken for granted what I have and, not accepting who I was. And, I would encourage everybody to do whatever it takes to figure out who you are as a person. Self discovery is the most important thing that we could ever do. Self improvement, self discovery, trying new things, learning new experiences, and seeing ourselves reflected in the eyes of the people that we meet. Those are important. Those moments that we have are important. And the only way that we can keep going in life is to keep trying new things until you can see a clearer picture of who you are. And yeah, that's very important. Oh no, I'm back in U.S. time by now. But anyway, so I want to I want to get past this because I could talk for days and days how much this affected me, and I could talk for days and days how much any of this encouraged me to want to do more stuff, and I could talk for days and days about how important this has been for me and my family. But I want to get to the stories because I've only told one story, two stories now because I did want to talk about going to the temple, but I'll give you a choice. Okay, I'll give you a choice. I can either talk about the massage I had at the bathhouse, which if any of you know about Korean bathhouses, you know that they're very naked. Koreans, boy, they like to get naked, and boy, they love them some bathhouses. So I could talk about that. I could talk about how I ate a chicken foot. I could chicken foot. It's not a long story, but that's an interesting story. Or I can talk about Herb Island, the greatest theme park in the history of the universe, the absolute pinnacle of theme parks ever. Herb Island is the greatest. I learned so much herb lore at Herb Island. So there's Herb Island, there's me eating a chicken foot, or me getting a massage at the bathhouse. What would you like? How about all those stories? You get one. You get one. I don't want to go on too long tonight, so you get one. Yeah. I don't want to waste your time, but each of these stories is a good story. Good story. So I can't do a poll. So you just got to shout and chat as much as you can as to which one you want. So keep just blasting it out and I'll see which one that I can get. Bathhouse, amusement park, herb island, massage, theme park, herb lore. Ooh. Bathhouse, it's pretty split. It's pretty split. A lot of people seem to want to know about Herb Island. But okay, now I'm seeing a bunch of bathhouse. Oh, now I'm seeing massage. Now I'm seeing island. Oh no. This is pretty split. I may have to. Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna flip a coin, okay? It seems really split. At least people don't seem to want to know about the chicken foot. So that'll be I'll tell the chicken foot story afterwards. But I've got this $50. I'm gonna flip it. We'll say heads for eventually, like over time, I'll tell both of them, but I'm only gonna tell one more for tonight. We'll say heads for the massage story, tails for Herb Island. Okay, sounds fair. Okay, here we go. Don't betray the herb. I would never. Oops. Okay. What did I say? What was tails again? Because it was tails. Tails was Herb Island. I think. No! 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 My phone fell. That's okay. I think it's fine. Probably fine. Anyway, what? Was that Herb Island? You're meant to tell both. We'll see what happens. Okay. Tails was Herb Island. Okay, so Herb Island. Oh, sit down, buckle up, get some popcorn. Herb Island is about to blow your fucking socks off. And I have got pictures to back it up. Okay, so, all right, you buckled up? Oh, you better be buckled up. If you were paying attention to my Instagram story, which apparently I started using once again, you would have seen some cool features from Herb Island that the likes of which you've never, ever, ever even dared to imagine. Oh, go somewhere quiet because you're about to scream your head off about how you were not able to go to Herb Island and I was. You're going to be so incredibly jealous of all the amazing things that I've seen at Herb Island that you did not see. Herb Island. I hope I'm building it. I hope I'm not overhyping it because there really is no overhyping this thing. Okay, so I don't have a picture of it, but imagine you're driving up this mountain. It's an unseeming mountain. And I mean, really imagine it. Okay, shut your eyes. Everybody, collectively, shut your eyes. You're going to need to. Shut your eyes. Are you closed? Are your eyes closed? Are you closed? Why are you closed? Are you closed? Now imagine you're driving up in the mountains. You're in the back seat of your relative's car that you can barely talk to. You don't know where you're going because you couldn't even communicate where the location would be. And even if they said it, you wouldn't know where it was because you don't understand the country. And you're bad at geography. But you're driving up in these mountains, bumpy road, rustling you around and around in this rickety old car that you're not sure when, where, why, or when it was made. But you stop. You stop to pay this ticket man, this happy-looking ticket man in an oddly military-looking uniform with an assault rifle, with a big gun, but he stops you. You pay the man in a strange foreign currency that you don't understand, and you drive up this hill. And as you crest over the hill, open your eyes. Open your eyes. You see a 20-foot tall statue of a wizard shooting his magic beyond into your eyes, welcoming you to Herb Island. Oh yes, it is the Herb Wizard, and he is beautiful. You look to your left, herbs. You look to your right, herbs. Herbs, herbs, herbs. No matter where you are, no matter what you do. You open the windows of the car. Ah, the pungent smell of rosemary. Oh, is that some oregano over there? Oh, just the tantalizing tastes of Herb Island. And you haven't even parked yet. So close your eyes again. Close them. Because you dare not look at the Herb Wizard. His eyes follow you as your car passes by. So you avert your gaze as best you can. But you know, piercing in your mind, you can see the wizard. His warm, welcoming aura, welcoming you to Herb Island. You park very haphazardly, because in Korea, apparently parking lots are a free-for-all, so you park very haphazardly. You open the door, you get out, and you see infinite possibility. And so, infinite possibility starts out with these really lovely cartoon characters tooting their dooders, just a boop boop doot 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 doot. They don't actually play music, but you can hear it in your soul. Here's another one, just a dancing fool. Doot 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 doot. And that's just the start. Because then this friendly-looking guy, who I am absolutely 100% unsure of what origin, like, this person is supposed to be. They were outside of a teepee, so I think they were supposed to be Native American, but it was in Korea, and he looks vaguely Asian, but he's wearing caveman outfit. This guy was just confusing. I have no idea what this was supposed to be, but welcoming nonetheless. You can feel the warm aura coming from within. Yeah. Oh, I for some reason I took a video of that. But I think the confusion is just meant to throw you off, because then there's this guy. Then there's this guy who is right next to that guy. So this is what really threw me off, because this guy is very clearly Native American with a kind of like a bandana, holding what seems to be a paintbrush, and his face looks extremely Korean. So already, I think it's all just designed. Close your eyes again. Close. Shut them. Close. Shh. Don't talk. Don't speak. Let me speak. I think what it is it's supposed to disorient you, because you're about to enter the greenhouse. Oh yes, this is where they grow every herb known to man. Close your eyes. You're not supposed to see any of this. Close your eyes. Have you ever seen rosemary? Right up close and personal. Have you ever seen a plant that when you rub its leaf and smell your fingers, smells like lemonade? Have you ever seen that? No. No, you have not. Your brain wouldn't be able to handle it. So these confusing statues were there, put there, to put you in a state of confusion so you wouldn't think too deeply about it. Close your eyes. You're not supposed to see this. Close your eyes. And you know that's the only thing that saved you from destruction. Okay, moving on. Okay, next time in the story, I'm just gonna flip through this because I have no idea what's going on. And I've got probably too many pictures of Amy, so I'm gonna avoid those. So, I was unbelievably winded from my adventures. So immediately I had to take a nice break on this lovingly placed bench. And okay, I'm being ridiculous, but also this place was goddamn beautiful. This place was fucking gorgeous. Here's Hyungbae. Look at him! Look at him! Look at Hyungbae! Yeah! He's so goddamn handsome! Ah! Look at him! Yes! What a man. What a man. Wait, hang on. Oh, ladies, he's single! All right, anyway. Oh, this is my aunt. She would hate me if I showed this picture, and I'm showing this picture, but that's my aunt. What she was doing is she was rubbing that plant that I was telling you about, that if you rub your fingers on it and smell it, smells like either lemonade or like there's a whole bunch of different ones. There was one that was like strawberries or something, I think. And so, are any of these live photos? No, they're not. Okay. So, also, I guess Tigger was there and Piglet, all the cast of Winnie the Pooh, which I'm sure, oh, that's a nice picture. I like that picture. Anyway, I've got a lot of pictures. Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at that. Just, sure, yeah, I'm sure perfectly licensed. Absolutely, totally legally allowed. Yeah, just look at a Piglet trying to charm Amy over there. Yeah. Anyway, so, let me go back here. And then just one of my favorite pictures that I took while I was there is actually this one. I really, really, really like this picture. And no joking, no sarcasm. I really like this picture. Anyway, I just think it's a good picture. And then I took a bunch more selfies. And then literally just like herbs. Okay, close your eyes again. Close your eyes again. Close. Shh. Close your eyes again. It's about to get sensual in here. It's about to get sensual. Close your eyes. You're not supposed to see. I'm gonna cover the screen because you guys, I can't trust you not to close your eyes. Okay, close your eyes. All right, you seeing that? Okay, you thinking it, you feeling it. Okay, you've just entered into the herb zone. And you're like, oh, herbs. I can't get enough of these herbs. I can't get enough of herbs in my life. Herb Island is just too much for me to ever even remotely try to endure. But then, once you think you've had enough of Herb Island, oh, you had no idea that it extended far beyond anything that your wildest dreams could possibly ever hope to imagine. Because what I'm about to show you is a world more magical, more amazing than you could ever dream of. Now open your eyes.
Skinny Santa.
I don't know. I took so many videos like that. I took so many videos like that were just bullshit, terrible videos. I took so many bullshit, terrible videos. But okay, so there's that, and then like there's these guys. Okay, all right. So then we entered Santa World, filled with.
No. You let the deer go. Please. Santa. No.
Just filled with purple Santas. I didn't know why, but we didn't go in Deer World just yet. We took a detour. Okay, so Herb Island. Let me put this to you straight. Herb Island not only had Santa Land, and I call it Santa Land because it wasn't Christmas Land. No, it was Santa Land. It was Santa Land. And in Santa Land, Santa reigned. There was only one statue of Mrs. Claus anywhere, but we haven't even gotten to that. Close your eyes again. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Now, you've seen herbs, right? Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Imagine. You remember you just came out of herb forest, the greenhouse. So many smells assaulted your nostrils. You're not supposed to see this. Close your eyes. What do you think you're going to see next? You see a little taste of Santa, but you are not prepared for what comes next. Because just guess. Say out loud wherever you are. Close your eyes. You're not supposed to see this. Close your eyes. Say out loud what you think is around the next corner. You've seen herbs. You've seen Santa. You've seen a strange Native American at the very opening of this. And you've seen the herb wizard. What do you think is next? What do you think is next? Close your eyes. Open your eyes. What do you think's next? Unless you guess dinosaurs, you would be. It was dinosaurs. Let me tell you, I've never known I needed a park like this until this very moment, because there were dinosaurs. There were dinosaurs and donkeys. Donkeys! I posted this on my story, but here you go. There were donkeys. Where you could pay $1 or the equivalent of $1. Get a bowl of carrots and feed them to these donkeys. And then it was a zoo with a. It was a zoo with a. It was a zoo with a fake tiger.
That's a big tiger, right? That's big.
It's real big.
Yeah. It's bigger than.
It's a fake tiger. And also they had chicken in the zoo. They had chickens and they had tiny pigs, which were very cute, and then they had a peacock. So it was a great zoo. It was the best zoo I've ever seen. And I didn't get a video of it, but there was these little animatronic dinosaurs that a kid rode in and was like, squeak, squeak, squeak. Like just this little animatronic dinosaur. This tiny baby was on top of it. It was like, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen, but it felt so natural. Also, I got this video,
Try my strudel.
which is my favorite video that I've seen. And then we went to Santa World. So I got this other video, which is a great video. I'm very proud of that one. Oh, also this video. Okay, anyway, so I've got those. FNAF 7 confirmed. Yeah, FNAF 7, the pre-prequel back in time when dinosaur animatronics were there. Anyway, getting ahead of myself. So, shut your eyes. Shut your eyes. Shut your eyes. Do you imagine the one thing that could complete this experience for you? The one thing that would summarize, close your eyes, you're not supposed to see this. Close your eyes. Imagine the one thing that would complement this entire experience. Bring together the herbs, bring together the Santas, bring together the dinosaurs. The one thing that would unite it all. And what is that? Think it. Close your eyes, you're not supposed to see this. Think it hard. Think it fast. And let's all say it at the same time. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Belly dancers. I don't have a video of it because it felt like it would have been weird if I would have filmed the belly dancers. But you're around the corner out of the greenhouse, you go down to a lake that looks like Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean little lake there, and there were belly dancers. There were belly dancers just dancing around. It was like kids in the audience. It was just kids, parents, like adults, every age, and there was this like barely closed belly dancer just like really gyrating. I mean, if ever there was a word to describe the action of this lady, gyration is the only word that springs to mind. Just lightning speed of the hip movement, like just absolutely thunderously gyrating left, right, up, down, back, forth, all 6 cardinal directions, plus a few in the 4th dimension. Like this woman was moving. And then, when she was done, 3 other women came out of nowhere and just started gyrating. And I couldn't make direct eye contact for fear that the wizard that I could now see would judge me. And so, I didn't take any video of the women gyrating. But it happened at Herb Island. So, at this point, my entire existence was shattered thrice over, and I could barely contain the joy inside my soul at the experience that Herb Island gave to me. And so, with a heavy heart and a heavy bladder, the family and I gathered up, hit the bathroom, and then moved on back to the car where we settled in and began our journey home. But I tell you this, and close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. Close your eyes tight and imagine this. You're crammed back in the back seat of that rickety car that you don't know what year it was made and you don't even think it was ever made in a year. And you start driving and moving over the many, many speed bumps that they have. And you wave goodbye. Close your eyes, you're not supposed to see this. You wave goodbye to the herb wizard. And believe me when I tell you, he winked, waved, and cast a spell of good luck upon me. It's true. It's true. 100% true. 100% fact true definition of truth. It happened. You felt it. For those of you who close your eyes, it happened, and you felt it. I know. I was there. And I felt the joy of Herb Island carry with me. That was on the second day. Second day that we were in Korea. We were blessed in Herb Island, and no other day lived up to that day. So I want you to remember that. I want you to remember the joy of Herb Island. Carry that with you in your heart as you go home. You feel it? Oh, you feel it. The herb lore coursing through your veins. The herb lore penetrating your mind. The herb lore taking you to places you could never know before. Also, they had tons of weed there, so that was nice too. Anyway, so that is the Herb Island story. That's about it. I think I've made my way through 3 stories of my 20 that I have written down here. I got so many different stories here, but I'm gonna leave it there for now. I'm just gonna leave it there for now. The other thing I'm gonna say is I am super excited to be back, to be making videos again, to like do cool stuff, to learn new things, to try new things, and I'm super excited because I have this chance. And you guys do too. And listen, I'll wrap it up real quick here. I promise I won't keep you very long. But listen close to this one because this really does matter a lot to me. What I've done, like in terms of making videos on YouTube and making content for you guys and learning about myself, a lot of this journey that I've done has been life-changing. You know. Everything that I've done on YouTube and everything that I've done, in life and everything that every opportunity that I have to better myself and improve the situations of those who are around me and like extend some goodwill out into the community, they're because I took this chance to learn something about myself. When I started YouTube, I did it because I didn't like who I was, but I didn't like who I was because I didn't understand who I was. I didn't see the potential inside of me, You form who you are in the experiences that you go through. And if you play your life safe and you play your life without taking risks, without learning more about yourself, without trying to learn new things, without opening yourself up to new experiences, without reaching out to those around you and trying to learn what their stories are, if you spend your life closing yourself off and never taking a risk, never taking a chance, never taking the opportunity to look stupid in the faces of those who you may or may not respect, you'll never go anywhere. I would encourage everybody who wants to do something, who wants to try harder, who wants to go farther in your life to try something new, something exciting, something that terrifies you. Just try until you can't try anymore. And then, in those small, incremental, imperceptible changes that you see on a day-to-day basis, you'll see a clear picture of who you really are and who you could be, who you want to be. And then you have no idea what potential you possibly have inside of you. So just take that to heart, because this is a lesson that I'm still in the process of learning. Honestly, truly, I'm still in the process of learning who I am, and I'm still in the process of learning what I want to do. But I'm happy. I'm happy that I get the chance to fail. I'm happy that I get the chance to learn about myself. I'm happy that I get the chance to be here for you guys. I'm happy that I get the chance to be here with you guys, to make stuff for you, to do stuff with you, to do charity efforts with you, to spread goodwill and encourage everybody to try something new. So thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Next Friday, there will be a special premiere to do with the tour. And we are going on tour again in Australia. If you're in Australia and you haven't bought a ticket yet, you better hurry. They're almost sold out. So go to tour.markiplier.com and see us live. We've perfected the show by now. We've perfected the show. It's a really fun time, and this time around we're going to have so much more audience participation than we've had even in the past shows. So if you haven't got it and you're in Australia, go to tour.markiplier.com. See me, Bob Wade, Tyler, Ethan, live and in person, and with a cool show for you. And maybe we'll pull you up on stage and have some fun. And in other news, I am working on the other projects that I've mentioned before. Those are in the works, amongst other cool stuff that I've got to show you very soon. But just thank you everybody so much for being here. Thank you everybody that became a member of the channel. And remember, if somebody does become a member of the channel or give through Super Chat and I didn't see it, remember to @ their name and check them out and give them some encouragement. They see that. And this is really cool to see. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'll have more information about all the cool stuff in the coming few days, but thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll have more stories to tell once time allows. So maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow. Maybe I'll do another one. Well, I'll play some games and stuff. There's this really cool game that came out recently called Visage. It's apparently an unbelievably scary horror game, like a terrifying, bone-chilling horror game. So I might live stream that tomorrow. Be on the lookout for that right here on YouTube. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. You have a wonderful night. I'll tell more stories soon. Check out the description for all the other crap that I mentioned. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye! Bye, guys. Bye! Goodbye. How do I end it? Where's the end button? Goodbye? Goodbye!